So I'm Trent, and this is a quick demo of Plane VR. What you can see here is I've just logged into the panel, and I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration with Emin, who's going to be in the student role, and I'm in the instructor role at the moment. So we can see that just here, Emin is offline at the moment, and he'll be joining shortly. So what we do is we'll receive a notification when someone comes online, and the instructor can jump into that experience. So I'm just waiting here for Emin to jump online. All right, so we can see Emin's come online now. So I just click on his name, and I can see that he's in the hangar, and then I click connect and confirm. Hey man, how you going?
Hey. What's up?
So we're just going to do a quick demo here of Plane VR for the folks out there. So as I've just said, I'm joined in the instructor role, and you're in the student role. So what you do as a student is you can go into that yellow teleport location there, and as an instructor I can point out any of the things on the aircraft just with my little red laser pointer there. So go ahead, jump into the teleport location.
Okay, so we are starting the training procedure right now. So as the panel says, we need to use keys to open the cockpit. So doing this will open it, and we're ready to start our checkups. So this shows how you should use the step to enter the aircraft, and there is also an area that you are not allowed to step because that's control surfaces. So there's this black non-slip surface that you have to use to step into the plane. Okay, so there's a tool, fuel dipstick and fuel drain tool that you usually store inside the airplane that you kind of going for right now to continue your checkups for the fuselage. Okay. So yeah, so we're going through the checkups. Checking the oil here. So opening the oil cap, opening the oil inspection port. Okay, it's ready. So now we are about to rotate the propeller about 10-12 times, and here for unusual sounds which can tell us there's some problems with the oil in the engine. So that should be fine for now. Okay, so we're checking the oil level using the dipstick, and it's okay. We're closing the port and moving forward. So now we're checking the SPAD security. We're taking a sample of fuel from the drain port, checking the clarity of the fuel sample, and air pollution disposal unit. Okay, that describes how we are to do that. Then we're checking the wing surface condition, pitot, removing pitot tube, we're checking the pitot tube condition, which is crucial for good flight, say good and safe flight. So there are the whole list of things we are to check. So going one by one, everything's fine. Moving forward. So there is a back side of the plane, which has a many control surfaces, which should be checked as well. Okay, this is the left side. We need to do the same checks, except of the fuel, I think. No, checking fuel here as well. Okay, same procedure for the left tank. Same surfaces and edge condition checking. Okay, so when we're satisfied with the checks, we're returning the fuel dipper and fuel test tool into the cabin. We're shutting the canopy, and we're ready to move the aircraft outside of the hangar. Okay, so where's my instructor? I don't see him.
Yep.
Okay, so we're moving to the airfield. Adjustment.
Yep. So one of the things you'll find here is that you're sometimes out of alignment with the seat as you sit down. So both Evan and I have just sat down. All you need to do to fix that is you just press and hold the right menu button on your right controller, and that'll adjust your seating position to the right position so you can sit comfortably in the chair. So now that we're in here, Emin, what I'd like you to do is first grab out the checklist and then bring up the panels for information.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a list of everything that needs to be done at every stage of the flight. So if you're experienced pilot, you just take a look at it and make sure you don't forget anything. But if you're a new pilot like me, you better be checking it more detailed and with more attention to everything. So let's go through everything one by one. Turning on the backups. That will activate our panels and enable our batteries. So, okay. The choke spanks covers are stowed, which we have checked that already. On the front panel under the left vent, there is a rudder pedal adjustment. Yeah, it's here. We need to make sure that we're sitting comfortably, especially for our feet, to reach the pedals and to be able to comfortably operate them. Next, okay, seat belts is good. Checking that all the switches are switched off. Okay. Checking the braking system. Making sure the parking brake is on before the ignition. Confirm that all circuit breakers are all in. Carb heat should be off. It is off. As you can see, when you approach a control, there's additional information. And now we can see on carb heat off, it tells you its actual position. So if you make it on, it will show it's on. If you switch it off, it will show you it is off. Throttle should be closed with the choke as required. If it's cold start, then choke may be required. Otherwise, it should be all the way forward. Probe should be at full increase. So since we're having 19 Celsius, it's pretty cold. So let us add a little bit of choke. Maybe. Magnetic compass above the dash should be reading the same as the gyro compass in the center of the right glass. I think it is. Turn the master switch on. So we're preparing for the ignition. Check that flaps retracts in stages. Check that each side of the flaps retracts evenly. Check that the light indications on the flaps change from amber ordered. Check that each stage works correctly. So checking one by one.
And when you do that, just make sure you look out to the
Yes, we're seeing that flaps are moving as required. Everything is fine. Set the fuel cock set to left and make sure that the fuel quantity matches what was dipped in the checks that were carried out external to the aircraft. Okay, going on. Turn the fuel pump switch to on. Fuel pump switch. Wait for the fuel pressure to rise and go into the green, which should take 3 or 4 seconds. Then turn the fuel pump off. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Switching off. Next, turn the strobe switch on. Strobe switch on. When you enter the aircraft, ensure all occupants are seated comfortably with seat belts correctly fastened and conduct a fire brief. So that's what we are going to do right now. Ensure the area is clear, the canopy is correctly closed and latched, and conduct a fire brief similar to the following. So making sure the canopy is closed. It is closed. If I have a fire and start, I will open the throttle and continue cranking, while you, the passenger, unstraps and gets out, careful of the rotating prop. Okay. To release the canopy, there's a lever in the center console that is approximately at your elbow. Push the canopy up, exit off the back of the wing, go around the outside of the wing, and meet 30 meters in front of the aircraft. So we're opening the canopy, getting out of the aircraft, making sure it's not closer than 30 meters, and meet there while it's burning. Okay. Luckily, it's not the case. Make sure that the canopy is down and secure, then open the window and shoot out clear pop. Canopy is down, clear pop. So we're at engine start part. Make sure the throttle is at idle and the choke is adjusted as required by conditions. The aircraft starts like a car with the keys in the ignition. Turn the key through right, left, both, and then pause until you're ready to start the aircraft. When you're ready to start the aircraft, turn the key, and as soon as the engine starts, let go of the key and let it spring back to both. Okay, so right, left, both, and start and it springs back. If the engine is stable, reduce the choke if you have that on already. It is stable, we're reducing the choke. Adjust the throttle so that the aircraft RPM are 2000 RPM, so we can see this here and here. Okay, we're in that range. Check the oil pressure the second gauge up from the bottom on the left. Oil temperature should be starting to rise. So oil temperature is starting to rise. Okay. Check the volts on both sides. It should be at least 12.5 volts and the amps should be at least +1 amps, which indicates the batteries are changing. We'll not have that panel open right now, but I'm sure it's all good. Switch on EFS1, EFS2 and avionics. Okay, move the panel a little bit. EFS1. Okay, so we can move closer, we can read the text and avionics. This joins the avionics system to the alternator and the screens will start as well as the audio so that you can talk to one another. Sounds good. Set the radius using the flip-flop to select radius and then change frequency with the dial. That's done here. The left half of the box is what you're using right now and it is white. The right half of the box is what is standby and it is blue. When you tap the left half, it swaps the radio. If you tap the right box, you can enter a new radio frequency. That's here and here. Where it says XPDR, if you tab it, you can enter the transponder code if you have one. Remove the park brake by putting your feet on the brake and then pushing in the park brake in. Once the aircraft starts moving forward, tap the brakes evenly and the aircraft should respond evenly. Okay, so we are ready to move, right? Check that when you turn the aircraft to the left, the instruments indicate the aircraft turning left, and when you turn to the right, the instruments indicate turning right. We're going to check that now. Check the trim is working correctly. The trims are adjusted using. So I think that's the runway part, right? So let us taxi and then we'll finish this run up and
so
line up
checks,
right?
Yep.
It should be done now or on the runway?
No, on the runway when you're lining up.
Okay, so we're moving to the runway now, right? Okay, so I'm switching off my park brake, adding a little bit of throttle here to start moving. So as we can see, our aircraft is turning as expected, and we're heading to our runway. I'll make it a little bit faster, save some time.
So at this point we'd be super careful we don't go too close to the other aircraft or under their wings.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at our taking off position. Okay, so let's do our run-up check. Okay. Check the trim is working correctly. The trims are adjusted using the coolie hat, which is on the stick. You gotta grab the stick and put your thumb on the joystick. Okay, grabbing the stick. As you can see, the trims are working fine. Aileron trim and elevator trim all working good. Next, when you push down the coolie hat, pull the coolie hat back. The trim carrier moves down and the aircraft will fly more nose up, just like pulling the stick back. So that basically describes how the trim works. Check that all the oil temps and pressures are in the green, which it is. You can't get above 2500 RPM until the oil pressure and I'm not sure what this one in the green. You can't get above 3000 RPM until everything is in the green. So we have our oil warmed up, so we're ready to go. Okay, run the engine up to 4000 RPM plus or minus 30 RPM. We will do that. Using the key switch between the mags, turn the key in one, click to the left and observe a drop of go back to back, turn this. So we will not be seeing this working in VR simulation, but I believe that's quite important to do in real plane. Apply the carby heat. There will be a slight drop in RPM and manifold pressure of 0.3 to 0.4. Okay, applying, checking. Set the RPM to 4800 using the prop level, the blue lever. Bring the lever back until you see a drop in RPM. So we don't have all this working at this point, so that's kind of more educational, just to know what to do in real plane. Let me just skip it for now. Okay, check the fuel is on the leftmost. Okay, it was not, now it is. Set the flaps to 10 degrees. Okay, setting to 10 degrees, checking that it is moving. Check the instruments are correct. Yes, they are. Cycle the controls to ensure they are full and free. You should be able to move the controls through the full range of motion and see that the controls surfaces are moving. So, as you can see, the ailerons are moving and the elevator is moving as well. Check that the canopy is secure and that all passengers have their seat belt correct. Okay. Okay, so that's line up. Okay, all switches should be up. Propeller lever to full increase. It is. Takeoff safety brief is solo. If I have an engine failure on the runway, I'll close the throttle and abort the takeoff. Use the brakes to pull up, declare a pan. Okay, there's pretty much to read for this, quite important. Okay, so we have finished the lineup checkup. So let us close this one and take off. Right?
Right, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Same route as last time.
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay. As you can see, we have a full G2X panel working with all the data you need, like airspeed, altitude, attitude, compass, and all the analog tools are working too. Okay, so making turn right now. So let us put the RPM down a little bit, not to overheat the engine, and turn around. This is our, okay, let's descend a little bit. To better approach the runway. Okay.
Man, nice landing, well done.
Yeah. So yeah, we have successfully landed in Canberra Airport. Okay.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it.